because if I don't, I'll be here forever. But look at this, beautiful. I'll have to get used to cameras, so if I'm making you dizzy, I do apologise.
That's fine, we've seen your hair lots.
Oh, sorry. I've got to keep my head out.
Hair. It's lovely hair.
Sorry, I'll keep my head out. Now I know where. See, I don't know where cameras are, so I'm all over the place. Right, so here you can see all the layers. Look at all these beautiful layers. And you've got the blues and the greens. And then, have you used the ink as well?
Distressing again on the background. So that's one of the papers in the background. And it's got like those printer's blocks. Letters in there,
yeah.
And then the owl die cut and the alphabet stamps.
Well, you've done this on with embossing, haven't you? You
yes,
are beautiful. Oh, it's beautiful, that, isn't it? It's soft, and you can still see the images in between. Oh, what else do you want me to show now?
The pan. Have we done the panel? So they're the four items that you'll get. The 3 owl pieces and the paper pad are the 4 things that you get the offer on today.
Yeah. And that one, it was going to be $37.89, but it's on offer today. You've dropped quite a lot. It's more than 10%. I think that, let me get this right now, that the probably now, today's price is $32.99. You've got a lot there for that money. That is superb. And it's all A5, it's all big pieces. It's not like little piddly bits. So, well, that is good money. And you use them again and again and again. Now this one is not in this, but this is part of your collection.
Yes.
The Reflections Overlapping Circles die. Now, you might say, oh, that's nice, but look at the size of it.
It's an A5 die.
It is stunning. I've got to open it. Got to see.
You open it, that's fine.
Right, look at the size of that. It's really well cut. You've got lots of like little poke holes that you can get your dies out, because there's a lot of dies that if you don't have enough of this, you end up, when you're pulling it back, you'll tear it. But this, it's got loads of access points there. I love the shape, but look at this.
See it in the background. That's one of my favourite pieces of the collection.
Stunning. Look at the paper piecing in there. Now, that is a really mindful thing to do. You know, you might take 10 minutes out and just think, I'm just going to sit and piece that and it'll be beautiful. You've got it in the background here with your stamps later on. We're going to come up today. But you've got this beautiful owl here. But look at that. I love the colours, because teals and browns, they go really well together as colour of rust and stuff. So you've got a massive piece there. Now, you can also just cut elements out of that. You don't need the whole thing, although I would cut lots of them. Let me just show you what Lou's done. Right, to play with. She's cut loads of them, and look at all different textures you can get. The papers, the white cards and stuff. So look at this one as well.
That's the waist.
Look at this. So, you know, the world's your oyster with this.
Yeah, I've found so many different ways of using that particular die. Yeah, so keep cutting it, and it cuts beautifully.
Well, I think that's the point. If you're willing to sit there, because you were saying you was working till late last night doing it, and that's because you was enjoying it.
Absolutely.
So I just want to show you some samples, because I was chatting to Lou yesterday after my Facebook Live, and then I was looking at samples and stuff, or stuff, ideas that she'd got, and this one is done with the inks again. You've cut it out once. Look how beautiful that looks. Look how elegant that is. Stamps cut out, this cut out here from your paper pad. And that is a beautiful card. It's simple enough for someone who is a beginner, but elegant enough to think that you've been doing it for years. And then you've got your little gems on it. But look at this. This is what we was talking about.
Yeah, this is your idea, this was.
Well, I thought it was just something about when you put the two... Lou put the two together and I went, oh, look at the layers. But look at that lace there. Oh, look at it. And you can just see it's on acetate. And we stamped out the word down. We've got the amazing in the gold over the top. And I like the different sorts of gold. And I like the fact that there are different heights on that. So that's a little card, but look at this one as well. Look at that.
So just layering them up different ways, leaving different pieces in the die and popping different pieces out on the different layers and different colours.
How have you done that one underneath then? Have you done it?
So the teal, the pale blue is a solid piece of cardstock.
Got ya.
The white, I've left some of those teardrop shapes in.
Right.
And then the dark blue on top is completely, everything popped out.
Right.
So it's 3 different layers.
See, I'm loving this, and I'm thinking, is that glitter paper or have you embossed it?
Yeah, it's glitter card, so the die that went through the glitter card easily enough.
So look at that, you see it, and yet you think, it looks so clever, you think you've sat there for hours distressed, you know, like with your stickles and things.
No.
But these are beautiful as well. These little accents reflect this and look stunning. Again, your word, and then you've got your parchment on top. Of superb, absolutely superb. Shall we go on to now where I don't know where to go to now. Oh.
Anywhere you like.
Right. Okay. We've got these wonderful words, amazing and beautiful, and what they are at really big size. I think they're just. There's nothing, you're not really going to see much when you're seeing the die itself, but it's so well manufactured. The fact that it die cuts really well and clean. It die cuts like lots of different textures. What have you tried with it? Have you tried the multitude?
Yeah, so I've gone through, obviously your cardstock, your vellums, things like that, through felt, through, with your felt you need to stabilise it, obviously put some sticky on the back ready.
Cool.
And faux, because I like to raise my sentiments up as well, so cut through there beautifully.
Right.
As well.
So there's really, sort of really thick elements you'd need like the thicker dies, but that's getting to the point where 300 G's.
Oh, easy.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
No problem.
I love the way you've done this. Simple card. I love the way you've blended that. Again, these are one of the paper pad textures. Now this is coming up with the stencil we've got. Yes. You've got the word in, and again the words here. And there again, this is the pattern cut over, and you could do with so many things. Look how clever that is.
That's your idea. That's Lou's idea of offsetting the panel, but with different colours.
Just looks really, really. It looks so clever that, especially if you could do so many. But I'm liking the way you built up the word several layers, because on this I can see about 4 or 5 layers. Yeah. So even if you think, oh, I want it quite thick, you can do as many layers as you want and get that. You don't have to sort of just think, oh, it's got to be a thick card. Right, the next thing we've got to come on to are these. Oh, now these aren't included in the bundle, but these are included. But let me just explain. Today you get 10% off. So to me, it just makes sense to do it. Now, these are typewriter fonts with a bit of a difference because they're bigger than normal. Normally, typewriter fonts are small and you've got a little circle round them. These are huge. And Lou was telling me that she designed these so that the upper and lowercase go together in words. So if you look at the Hootiful, you can see how upper and lowercase all fit together perfectly. And I would use it. These would be my desktop. These be on my desktop all the time, because I would use them again and again and again. And you've got, like I say, you've got your and's and your all that, and your whatever they are.
Ampersands, brackets, numbers, hashtag.
That's it. All the posh bits. And then, look, I just want to show you a couple of cards. Look at the words. I love that. I love that you've got a different size font, but I love the style of lettering because it doesn't just go with this, it goes with the die cuts that we've got. So all these, and you know Lou's known for a word, you know, a lettering, so obviously we're going to bring that into it as well. But I love, you've got the stamps coming up in a little bit, and you've even got more with the stencil as well if you could go further, but we've got it stamped there using the stamps, we've got the letter dies there, and these stamps in there used to be like the thing that used to press, what was it?
Label maker.
That's the one.
Yeah, I won't say the brand name, but it was a label maker.
Yeah, but everybody had them, and I remember I had them in my house, right, and everything got labelled. If you didn't move, you had a label on it. So yeah, people learned to move fast in my house. Right, I'm moving on to these because I really love this, and I'm not just saying it because I wouldn't. I love this because I love the lettering because there's so much you can do with it, and I love the fact that you've got something really different with the owl. So the next thing we've got is a die. So this die, I saw this and I thought that's really clever because I love stamping and dyeing and just getting it all cut out together because I can't faff, it takes too long. So the fact that all these can be die cut out of here, it just, look at that. I'm in heaven now. I'm in heaven.
Yeah, so you can stamp them individually onto a project, or you can stamp them all together and die cut them out, and then you've got lots of little labels for you to use on your project when you need.
Yeah, and what I would perhaps I'd do is like stick them with a little bit of the low tack tape on the back, so that you've got them all there, and put them in a little Ziploc or whatever you've got, a little bag, anything, keep them, because you will use them. And then we've got these. Now these are all like a background with the white lettering showing, so It's the white of the paper that's actually showing, or the colour that you've got underneath. And we've got great words like dream and create, moments, thankful, today, all really useful lettering and words that you're going to use across the year for anything, for any genre, journaling, mixed media, cards, making, scrapbooking, you'd use it all. And there's words that you can, bring together, so that's really useful. And what we're going to do is, well, the little card here just to show you, we've got the backgrounds, but we've got this, we've got a butterfly in the paper pad, but we've also got the wording again to show you that you do get a great sort of compliment to all the letter in there and here. So I'm really taken with these. So what I'm going to do is just move over to the next one now, which is a stencil, and I love these because this is not what you normally see Lou do. So seeing Lou do something a little bit different, I'm like, oh, I'm liking this. So this is the stencil, again, the reflections texture stencil, and it's got a really, I don't want you to see that yet. It's a really beautiful, it's got beautiful there at the top, but it's not always easy to see because it's not in the conventional way where it's all pushed together. So you've got like little dots and like gaps between them. I think that I've not seen that before, so I think that is top. And you've got precious lives, life to the full, extraordinary, and I can see. I like the way some of them cross over, so you've got wonderful that goes across here. So we've got that side, which is the words, the cells that make words, and then this, we've got the alphabet repeating. So again, typewriter font, it goes very well with your dies and your stamps in the label maker. But look, I'm going to show you this now. Look at that. That's so cool. See it in the background? And it is touchy-feely, it is really touchy-feely. The owl on the papers, it just, everything comes together here. But look, you don't even need to sort of bring the owl into it if you don't want to. You've got the tag and make your own tag. I love this. This is really cool. And you've used a little bit of paint, but the colours isn't in the papers that you've used. Last but not least, I think.
Yeah, I think that's all.
Is this. And then, it's coffee. Everybody needs a coffee stain in their life. It don't matter how many you've got of these. You need them all because they're all very different. I love the splats that you can all use. Again, a little card. It doesn't have the owl in it, but it doesn't need to because we've got these embossed. We've got these, I think it's a texture paste.
It's a texture paste with dry embossing powder over the top. I haven't melted the embossing powder, so it stays really vivid.
That's different. And we've got the font here, the stamps used on paper, and then we've got the little stamps there. And I love these. You see these bits? If you're just clever with your stuff, you could just use these bits. They'd be great for underwater scenes.
Yeah.
So loads and loads of things. I just want to show you these because we can't miss them out. And then I'll shut up and we'll get work. Oh, we've got that one there.
No, that's my demo. I'll show that.
Ah, cool. I thought I forgot one. And this one, I love all the cogs and the steampunk idea, and make this into a journal cover. Do you know what? I'm blown away, seriously blown away. I'm not just saying it, for $32.99 those 4 elements, and then all the extras you can buy with 10% off. Seriously, you've got something for everything there.
I'm really pleased you like it.
I love
because
it.
If Lou Withers likes it, then I'm a happy bunny.
Oh, thank you. Do you know what? I promise you, I only say if I like it, I have to, because otherwise you've got no integrity. So it really is beautiful, and I really need it in my life. So are you going to do as a demo now?
I'm going to come in and demonstrate. I'm going to pass you the phone.
I'm going to get out over here.
There we go.
Thank
you. You can read the comments. Do you mind saying hello to a few people for us? Because we haven't got around to that yet, and I apologise.
Oh, right. If I get your name wrong, I'm very sorry. I'm stood over here, don't worry. Social distancing and all that.
Do the best we can.
I love Elaine, Benita, Michaela. It is, I agree, Michaela. It is fantastic. Fantastic. And it is a good deal, very good deal. Michelle, I love the coffee stain as well, it's great stuff. Lisa, love the examples, yeah, they are very good, aren't they? Yeah, we've got lots of people saying they love the coffee stains. They are very popular. You can never have enough of them,
No, you can't. I love that. I think that can go with masculine, with teenagers,
absolutely.
With people who work in an office. It covers everything. So hence the reason for doing it. So, shall I get started? I don't know where to start. I want to be able to show you everything, but essentially this first collection is called Reflections. So I want to show you how I developed the reflections technique, I suppose, how you can use it. Just one way of using it. As you've seen from the examples that Lou's just been showing you, there's so many different ways you can use it and so many different styles. So as she said, the dies, the reflection stamps, and that grey board that we've got all match up together. They all perfectly coincide with each other so that they're lined up, they're the same size. You can stamp over the grey board, you can stamp and then die cut the owl. It all mixes and matches perfectly. So I'm going to show you a little bit of that. Now we've got a table full of items, so it's really going to be sort of crafting and making lots of mess today. But what I'm going to do first of all is show you the owl there with the embossing element to it, because it die cuts out. We've got the cut lines throughout, there's lots of detail in there, but then we've got the stenciling stroke embossing elements. I'll show you how those work. I'm going to get my muscles out and I'm going to bring the die cutting machine into the main part here, just so I can show you, because there's nothing worse than die cutting off screen as such. I know because we've got Lou in, we've got lots of messy crafts today, and we're hoping to have a play, because this collection really does cross over from both clean crafting and your contemporary and your modern pieces and your more traditional crafting over to mixed media, art journals, and all the sorts of things that I know Lou for, really, or that's what I think of when I think of you, Lou. I think of you.
And I love the fact that I can do other things with it as well, because sometimes I just want to do something clean.
Sometimes you want to do something a bit different. Yeah. So I've just die cut there 2 pieces at a time, and I'll show you why in a little while. You don't have to do 2 pieces, just really shows you through that cardstock, which was about 200 GSM, I think, how well that goes through both. But we can also emboss this image. So I'm just going to pop this owl back in to the die. I'm going to place that on my mat, and I'm going to lay over a rubber mat. So this is a rubber mat. You often get these with your die cutting machines, different shapes, different sizes, different colours, but I'm picking up die cut pieces there. But we've got this embossing property to the die, which not all dies have, but I love this. I've found so many different ways of using this part of the die.
See, we need to do that more, because I think we miss out on a lot of things.
Absolutely, definitely, and I'm hoping.
Let's
put this. Beautiful. I know it shows up really well, and that's through the second layer of cardstock as well. So I'll just show you the one that was closest to the die, the one that's in it. So I'm just going to pop this.
You can get that much detail out the second one.
Yes.
Wow.
There we go. So if I just hold, in fact, I'll do that to the close-up. If we just shift some of these along, we're just going to come to the close-up, and hopefully if I can hold that at the right light, you can see all of that detail. Now all you need to do there is get your gilding waxes on it, or you can pop that back into the die and you can ink through there. Okay, really quickly, it takes no time at all. Ink through there, and then once you take that out, you've got your wet ink. Now whether it's a coloured ink picking out the detail, or I'll just show you on some examples. So for example here, that's just coloured ink, greys and blues, just picking out the detail. Or you can go in with embossing powder then on the wet ink afterwards, or like I say, your gilding waxes, your paints and things like that. So that's just the owl if you die cut it on its own. Now, what I've done for my card, I've got to not get in a tiz today, because I'm not used to demonstrating when I'm here. I'm usually the one standing on the sidelines, reading the comments and really chilling out.
I've got loads of comments saying about how well detailed and that embossing coming out on the second piece, never mind the first. So.
Yeah, so that's 2 layers. Yeah. Now the first piece that's the most embossed, that will be my top layer. Okay, the second piece will go underneath, so it's not as important that that's as well embossed anyway. I actually, for my project, I cut 4 of these, so I did that twice. Then moving on to the papers. For this, I just want to show you really how well the inks work. Now I'm not sure which colour I used, but we'll find a colour.
That looks like a tea or something.
I think it's tea dye. I think it is tea dye. We've got, from coming up on CraftStash really soon, which I'm really excited about, blending sponges. Ooh. A big bag. I think I want to say 9, but I think there's actually even more than that in a packet. Look out for these coming really soon. I'll use the bigger one. But with the papers, these have been designed so that you do actually see the design through, even when you heavily ink it, so you're not going to lose the pattern. So whether it's, I don't know, the wood grain, or whether it's one of the text papers like that's a different brown, but that's fine, we'll blend that in. Or whether it's, the text, the printer's things, you can still see your ink through them. So just pop in this, you can do all different browns if you want.
I think that'd be a nice idea, don't you?
So as you can see, once you lay that on, you can still see. So this is supposed to be like a watercolour, this one. So as you can see, your ink still shows through beautifully. And with things like this, I've inked it with Distress ink, and you can still really clearly see through it. I've got loads of them. I can keep showing you. I know this was the wood grain as well.
That looks professionally printed.
Absolutely, but that was just a black and white piece of paper from the paper pack and just inked. So as you can see, you add your colour, your print shows through. So I've done that already on my owl. So the wooden bit down the middle, I've actually snipped from the owl. So I've taken that layer and I've just cut round. Now within the die cut, there's lots of cut lines, so you're not going to be lost for where to cut. It's all guided for you. It's one entire piece, and if you want to fussy cut or take some areas out and paper piece them, essentially, you can do that. And I've done it with this owl here. So I've taken the wood grain paper, I've inked it, I've then gone through my die with a black ink, as you can see in the centre. I've inked the beak and the central feathers there, and that's just lifted those up, and the feet of course. And then I've done a little bit on the head as well. So I've really built that owl up. And then I've got my layers. So I said about cutting 4 layers, so I can just glue those down the middle and ruffle the feathers at the side.
That's clever, I like that.
He's really fun, but really, really quick to put together. If you don't want to go into all that detail, because I have got some really detailed owls that I've done here, you can absolutely just simply do that, just ink. Let's just add some ink through this one. Let's pop that in there. Let's take a sponge and a black and just show you the detail that you're going to get if you're just inking. Something like blending sponges are absolutely perfect if you're inking through here. Just work in small circles so you get in all the detail. Let's just go.
Somebody just mentioned the wonderful series of films about a young wizard.
Oh, absolutely. I love that.
And that'd be great. And I was just thinking and seeing them all together. Do you remember those Christmas decorations where you open them out and they're like a fan?
Oh, yes.
If you do enough owls, you could make a 3-dimensional one.
You really could. You could have it on a tree.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be really
With snowy owl.
Well, do you know what? We're doing what we're going to call a craft off, aren't we? So the third demonstration today is actually going to be myself and Lou. Actually, Lou, do you want to ask about what products we should use?
We was thinking, right, we know what we like, but what would you like us to see us use today? What products? And then we'll go as best we can and use those that if we've got them in. Now we've got all sorts of products here. We've got pastes, paints, all sorts of different layers and textures. So we've got some grey board. So you tell us what you want us to do and we'll try and do the best we can from them. So you choose, we don't.
Definitely.
We've got lots of love about that. Everyone's saying, yeah, it could be funny that.
It will be funny. It'll be a fun. This is going to overrun the hour. I'm just going to warn anyone who's on their lunch break now, we are going to go over the hour, I'm sure, because when Lou and I get together, we just talk and craft and have fun. So there's the owl. I've just added some ink through him. So if you want to be as simple as that, you absolutely can do. Now let's get this card put together because we've got lots more that we want to do. So some stamping, because another element to the reflections is the stamping. Now I'm going to do a video that's going to be exclusive to CraftStash that's going to show you how to do reflective stamping, so you can stamp on one side and then press it onto the other so you can complete whole images. So this is going to be on CraftStash coming up really soon. But for today, I want to show you just the images when you stamp them on their own, because they are beautiful. So these are in 4 separate pieces. You have the 2 pieces of the owl, and of course they fit the owl, but they also fit with the dies, and then they fit with the grey board as well. So you've got those. And the idea is that you can sit these around your image. So you can, this is obviously trimmed a little bit smaller because it's a matten layer. Let me bring in, I've got to remember where all my tools are because we've got so many. bring in a stamping platform. Now, we've got so many different stamping platforms and acrylic blocks and things on CraftStash. I was showing Luella, we've just got hundreds of different brands and things over there.
A lot of love for texture pastes.
Oh yes, texture paste. In fact, we're hoping you're going to get messy with the texture paste later.
I'm happy to do that.
So I'm just going to pick this up using my stamping platform there. Now, for this project, I was going to emboss this. I am going to emboss this, but I'm going to actually stamp it in a nice bright colour, an ink that will stay wet for long enough to emboss, just really so you can see the design, because if I stamp it in a clear embossing ink, you're not going to be able to see it. So we'll stamp this in a nice bright blue for you. So this is like the damask side of it. What did you call it? Baroque?
Yeah, it's like a baroque. Yeah, damask. They're just different names for different patterns, but yeah, it's a beautiful ornate pattern, isn't it?
Absolutely. So this is like the wallpaper that your grandma used to have in her house, and some people still do because it's actually come back in fashion again.
It's very Victorian.
Yeah, it's lovely, and I really like this pattern. So essentially,
it's elegant.
It really is. The reflections patterns are 4 of my favourite patterns, favourite textures.
Beautiful.
So you can see there that stamp's really clearly there, really beautiful. I love it. So I'm just going to use this. Now I'm getting messy already. Where's my gold embossing powder?
There's a gold one there, just behind the paste. Is that it?
This one?
Yeah.
That's a gilding wax. We'll use this one. This one will be fine. I know where it is now. I remember where it is. It's here somewhere.
It's hidden.
It's here somewhere. Never mind. I'll find it later. It's not the end of the world. Just want to show you. So I'm just going to heat set that. There we go. I'll hold that away from the powder. So we're giving some of these away.
Yeah, we've got some prizes, haven't we?
We have. We've got 3 lots of prizes today to give away today. So all you need to do, as always, to enter that is simply comment on the feed. So write a comment, say hello to us, let us know, of course, which products you want us to craft with in a little while when I've done my demonstrations. We're going to go as head to head as we can and have a play with something, but we don't know what we're going to do yet. We're going to leave it up to you to let us know what you want us to craft with. I'm just going to vamp this up. It's going to go really noisy.
Wow, doesn't matter. I'm just looking at these prizes, they're amazing.
I don't know if we can hear you over the heat gun, but I'll get this done really quickly. Really pretty. There we go. There we go. Okay, so now we can hear again. Yes, so we've got 3 prizes. I think it's a selection of the products.
Yeah, there's like each prize has 3 parts to it. So you might have the stamps and the stencil or something else. So you've got elements. So it's the type lines. You've got owl textures. You've got the owl collection, lowercase, uppercase, and large words. Oh, it's brilliant. So you've got what you've really thought about there is you put them together so that they really work together. Whoever wins will be really happy.
Yes, so there's 3 chances to win simply by commenting. As always, we always do this on the lives. So now I have got already this background ready to go and ready to stick down, but I want to show you how I got it. So I've got the part of the owl, that side piece, already cut out. Now if you have a look, that actually sits, it mounts the edge of that owl there. So I'm just going to show you when you pop some ink over the top. Let's pick a nice bright colour there. Just pop some ink over the top of this. This will really show up absolutely beautifully. So it shows up that silver. So essentially that's what I've done. I've taken a teal coloured ink, and I've also taken, which is a bit strange for me, but I've done that. I've taken a teal, but then I've also taken a black, and I've inked over. Now I use my gold embossing powder, but hopefully you can see there. I've got the same stamping. I've done teals and I've done blacks. I've splattered a bit of water and I've got the edge now. That owl will sit perfectly nestled in there. And then you could do the other half. If you just wanted that on the front of a card, you could stamp the other half, which is those distressed dots there for another look. So it's all about adding layers and different textures. Now I've also got my blending mat, so these are coming soon to CraftStash, which is really exciting. Now my card base, I'm going to bring in my dies. I'm just trying to show you as many of the elements as possible so that you can really see them all working together.
Beautiful that.
So now with this, all I've done is I've taken my die, I've laid it whereabouts I want my owl to be, I've tacked it down. Now, I don't know if I've got low tack tape here. I think there's a little bit on the plate. I'm actually going to take that off the plate.
Oh, stick mine on my machine as well, because I need it.
This isn't my machine though, is it? This is
no.
One. I want to show you how you can use these dies to just get a partial cut.
I remember I had all my little bits of low tack tape stuck on my die cutting machine, and my other half thought he'd help me by taking them all off and throwing them away. And he thought I was just being lazy. I said, no, I need them. And he gets it now, but he didn't at first. He just thought I was sticking them on there.
They need to learn, don't they?
And I found that the more I use them, the better they got. So
yeah, because they don't peel your card off. That's much better than use.
But it is handy. I love this technique, and it's something I had not seen for a long, long time. And then I saw it and I thought, oh, that's a cracker. Yeah. We need to bring these back.
Absolutely. So I'm just going to run that through to there. Hopefully you can see that. I've got my die onto my cardstock. The top plate, the edge of it comes to where I want to cut up to and no further. So this is all free, look, this is all open, so I can run this through. So my plate is, as you can see, overhanging this end, and that's absolutely fine. You still get the pressure. Just bear in mind that when the rollers bump down this side of the die, whoops, I'm moving the entire mat there, that you are going to get a little bit of a bump or a bang. There we go. And that should hopefully, let's just take this out of the machine without knocking everything over, because we've got a lot of product on the table today. I'm a clean crafter usually, but I do love mixed media as well, so.
It's nice to be able to get something that goes across the two, and I think this really does. I think it covers everything for everybody, really.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. I wanted this to cover your card makers, if you love your clean crafting, or whether you love your messy mixed media and your journals and things like that.
And also scrapbooking, because those words and lettering are fantastic for them.
Yes, you write your own words, write your own sentiments.
Absolutely, yeah.
So here you can fold this back. Now when you fold that back, if you bear in mind, you've actually got, on this side, you're going to have your beautiful pattern that's going to sit around that side of the owl. For this side, you could then stamp this one, and that would fit perfectly on this panel if you wanted to. Clever. What I've done is I've trimmed that, so I've just taken some scissors and trimmed down. You'll have a little bit of a score line there. You'll notice that the plate is made, so you can just trim down.
You could even fold that back and stamp it the other way on the other side.
Absolutely, yeah, you could fold it back into itself on here. Yeah. That would actually strengthen the card anyway. So you can see then we've got our edge, and our owl is going to perfectly sit on the edge. So that's the
stunning,
edge of that card.
That really is clever.
Starting to come together. I'm going to use this one because everything's measured out for this card.
Can I ask you how long it took you to think about doing that?
Probably with a little bit of playing, 10 minutes or so.
That's really so basically what you're saying, that it would really help the products just went with it, and you thought, right, I'll do that and that, and it worked.
Absolutely, yeah. Wow. So I knew I wanted to have the owl overhanging the edge, and I knew with the dies that I could do it, but then obviously the stamps all fit because they fit that shape. It just all works together.
Makes sense.
Once you start playing with these and start layering the elements together. So for example, if you love texture as much as I do, you could actually stamp the text there or the letters onto the wings, because of course the stamp would fit on there. So you could stamp that, and you could have text on some of the layers on the owl as well. All of these different elements will all work together. Now I've done very similar, where I've die cut into another panel for the front of this. So that fits there, so I use the same die. I cut the aperture out. I've embossed and inked that, and the way I've done this one to get more coverage is I've actually taken the stamp from here. If I just take this stamp out. Now these are photopolymer stamps, so they're going to be the best quality. I insisted we get the best quality we possibly can for you, and that just means that you can run them under warm water to give them a wash when you need, leave them to air dry, and they're super sticky again. They won't lose their cling at all.
It's important to you, that, wasn't it?
It absolutely, it really is. Quality above anything. So with this, all I did is I held it in my hand and curved it a little bit, and I pressed it into an embossing ink pad, and then I pressed it onto the paper like this. So I've got a little bit of a random pattern there of the letters. So heat embossed that, inked it in the same way as the background, and then that is good to go on the back, or rather on the front, sorry, to match the back.
We've got Malcolm Parker, who's, I know him from my group as well. He says, if I'm with you too long, I'm gonna make you a much messier crafter. Cheeky.
Yes, she will. She's already, I mean, look at the desk already, and she hasn't even started crafting herself yet.
This is like, because we're all missing this community of being close. I know we've got a fantastic community online, but to me, I'm in my element now because I'm in the room with someone else's crafter, and it's heaven.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you know, this is great, but this is also great to see all these designs and that. And I can see lots of regulars as well. Thanks, guys. You know, I appreciate you. And it's nice to see so many new people, because I don't know them, so hopefully I won't put them off.
No, you won't. Everyone loves Lou. With us.
Both. Well, there's, yeah, because you say the word Lou now, and you don't know who you're talking to.
No.
That's stunning.
So the word amazing.
That is stunning.
What I've done is I've taken the excess. So down the middle here is that wood grain paper that I inked and then cut out. From the excess, I cut the word amazing. I've cut that 3 times and layered it up just to make it a little bit stronger, because it is a very fine print. Excuse me. I'll show you the card close up when it's finished so you can see how that goes. I'm just going to put this on my card, but I'm going to put it vertically instead of horizontally, just for a little bit of difference. So that's going to go somewhere around there. So that matches then the wood grain, because I know we've used the same inks. Don't worry about the glue, because it will dry clear. There we go. And then we've got the letters. Now these are my typewriter font, stamped and cut out. These are the capitals. So they probably look quite large on the sheet, but actually once you put them on the project, they're perfect.
How did you cut the centres out? Did you use a knife for that, or scissors?
Round this I used, I'm trying to think.
Because you could use anything, couldn't you?
I used fussy cutting scissors around the edge, and I did use a craft knife.
Oh, I haven't got fussy. What's the difference? Now I don't know what's the difference. What fussy cutters?
Well, I call them fussy cutting scissors. Personally, I use embroidery scissors.
Ah, I've got you.
And I only keep them specifically for my fussy cutting
so
paper.
They've got a fine tip and a small, because you can get the curved ones as seen as well, but I don't know much about them, you see.
No, I can't get on with curved ones. I think that is a preference.
Yeah, well, yeah, because to me a big curving line, I'd only use it for curved lines.
Yeah,
Look at that.
So I'm going to bring this over to the close-up for you so you can see.
Oh, this is stunning. Do you know my sister-in-law loves owls, and I've just got all her presents now.
So there you go.
I'm gonna make her that.
Make
those
cards.
owls for her in a frame. It's an artwork. Look at that, it's beautiful.
We've got all the different layers there. Within the owl, we've got that wood grain there because I paper pieced that back in. That's that stenciling we did, the stamping, the word die, and then the text, the font as well, those stamps. So that's bringing actually loads of the elements of the collection in together. Rather than just using 1 or 2. So I'm trying to show you as many as possible.
We've got so much love for this now. Everyone's saying it's so absolutely adorable, pretty. We've got people saying the lettering they love. Yeah, thanks guys for your messages. I am trying to keep. Mary Navin says she loves Lou and Lou. Hey.
Lou and Lou, yeah, we love Lou and Lou.
I really enjoyed. I mean, I've seen you, I've known you for a while, but to actually sit and chat and then to get to work with you has been such a pleasure for me. It really has, because I want to do these clean cards now.
Yeah, so
but they won't be clean when I finish.
You see Lou doing clean cards?
I am
really?
going to shock you though.
Okay. Shall I go straight on to another demonstration?
I'd love to see you do
that.
That.
Because we want to get crafting, don't we?
I want to see how much, because I've got all these ideas, but I want to see how the person who made it has come up with these ideas, because that lets us see how your brain works.
You don't want to go in there.
No.
So, next thing I'm going to do is a very different card. So if maybe dark and a little bit grungy and too many layers aren't your thing, getting messy already. Maybe something cleaner and a bit brighter in. So this is what this card's going to be instead. So I am going to come along with one of the papers from my pattern paper sheet. So I'll just show you that in detail actually. Hopefully you can see that. Lots of different vintage words in there, some script, some handwriting elements, and lots of ink splat. So I absolutely love that. And then another favourite of the pattern papers, all included in this pack. In fact, can I do this on the close-up? Because I think this one's quite pale.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I love this. This is one of my favourites as well. So we've got like those bubbles, but with text in. Now, the beautiful thing about this is when you ink this, you're actually going to have this with all of that print coming through. I'm going to show you. I'm going to jump ahead. I'm going to show you a piece that I've already inked, okay? So
you wouldn't believe that was the same piece of paper.
So you can see, add your own inks, your sprays, your distress inks, whatever you want. But then if we have a look, particularly on the paler colours, you can still see all of that texture coming through. Maria's nodding in front of her. She's nodding, so she can see it, hopefully. Yeah, and then I've just added some water splats as well. So that's, again, inking into and bringing in colour into those backgrounds. And this is why I wanted to give you black and white papers, because I wanted you to be able to ink them whatever colour you want to do, whether it's nice and bright, whether it's grungy, however you like. So that is going to sit on my card base. This is a really quick card because I've got everything already cut and ready to go. That's going to sit on there now. Now that looks like a galaxy already, and because you've got the circles, they look like planets.
You could draw around that with a white pen, and you've got it.
Yeah, you love your white pen, don't you?
I do now. Oh yeah, I got a present the other day as well.
You got a present?
Someone bought me one because mine didn't work, so they sent me one. I was over at Moon.
Oh, that's lovely.
It is, but this is. I've just had a really lovely comment. Can I read it out?
You can, of course you can.
And it says, having you both in the studio together makes me feel like my life's getting back to normal.
Oh, I love that.
Elaine, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yes, this is how we're feeling now.
Yeah.
Because although we have to still keep to all the regulations, it feels like normal.
We've been very careful. We've done all the temperature checks today. And
I've been running around and I had to have it taken then, and I had it taken again, and I was too hot to cold.
Yeah, Lou turns up super hot rather than.
I think I was having a flush.
Yeah.
And then I was very cold. But anyway, it was the idea of us being in the same room working together. It's just been, it's heaven. It really is.
Now, probably one of my favourite elements of this entire kit, and this wasn't the intention because this wasn't supposed to be a main element. I've just got to find.
It is surprising when that happens. When I got mine, and there's something that I fell in love with, but when I got it, it's something else.
Yeah, the panel die I love. Now, I love that we've done it A5, so it fits your backing papers. So you can cut these out, but of course you can cut absolutely any paper you want, any cardstock. I'm just going to pop this through my machine. So I'm just going to come off because I may be strong, but I'm not quite that strong to keep bringing this into the middle because these are big, heavy machines.
Do you know what? I was thinking about that before. You could do continuous cutting with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it cuts out the edges, but you can certainly overlap it so it
looks. So you've got, that continuous.
Yeah, definitely.
Because when you was doing that half cut before, I was thinking, you could do your own trellis, massive,
Yeah. If you do scrapbooking, so 12 by 12. Yeah, definitely.
And you can make it square it up as well.
So my favourite thing to do with this is cut it from a decent weight cardstock. I'm showing you that you absolutely can do that. Stencil through it. You've got stencil, you've got beautiful backgrounds. Now, I've popped this inside a Polly Pocket.
Oh, yeah, we was talking about these. Yeah. I want to see these.
Because there's lots of bits that come out of this. This is just going to keep everything together. I just want to show you.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. It's like butter.
Oh, it's gorgeous, isn't it?
That flicks out. You'd be sat there for hours with some, wouldn't you? Look at that.
Can you see how quickly I got all of those other panels put together? So we've either got loads of texture or we've got plain white. Now, I've done so much with these. If I then double this up, which is what we were talking about, so slightly offsetting it, we've then got a beautiful lacework pattern as well. That is gorgeous. I thought you were saying something else then.
No.
I misheard that. I thought, do not use language like that, but she didn't.
Look at that. It's my accent.
Yeah, it is.
I'm from the other side of Manchester and I'm common. But I was just thinking, I love the fact that you could sort of paper piece but different levels.
Yes, absolutely.
So you could have 2 layers high, sticky bud things.
Yep, you can do this if you put decorator's tape over the back of the paper first. You can cut it, everything will hold in. a bit like a foam does as well.
Right,
Everything
yeah.
holds in, and then you just pop out the pieces that you want to pop out. Another thing you can do with it, and I'll just show you on the card if I can find it. Now, where is it? It's that one that's got the partial cut to it. I'm not going to be able to find it, am I? Do you mind looking for that?
No, not at all. What was it?
It's, oh, I found it,
Got
sorry.
it. Thank
Thank you. Is just like this. So I've used that die there and just popped a few pieces of torn paper underneath the die that's raised up that side as I've run it through, and it's left this intact. Because the pressure is all here, it doesn't cut this side, so it's giving you that grungy sort of look. And then this is free to stamp on. I've just popped some blending behind the back there. So there's lots and lots, so much you can do with this die. I've got loads of examples, but I have got here sentiment strip.
Clever design. I like that idea.
Yeah, it's really quick to pull together as well. Using everything, it all works together. This is about adding texture, okay? Because you can actually use that backing paper on its own. Now, what I've done with this wrap, in fact, I shouldn't have glued that panel down because that was made to go down there, but never mind. This is parchment, and I've stamped and heat embossed, because you can heat emboss on parchment. The stamps, the uppercase stamps there, the word today. I've die cut the word celebrate from my word dies from a pink that matches the background, and I've just laid that over the word, so that then ties in. Now that on its own is really pretty if you like super clean and simple. Now if you like it a little bit more textured, let's just add in the background like so. So there's another card, okay? You've got that grid in the background, and you're just adding in a little bit more texture. But if you love loads of texture and maybe a little bit grungy and things, I need another word for the word grungy because I use it a lot.
Yeah, grungy is a great word though.
But then look, if you turn that over and you use the pattern side, you've got even more texture to that. Isn't that gorgeous? And then of course you've got the other option, which is, as I showed you, is just to alternate that. In fact, let's alternate that, the two white sides.
You could even just, hit and miss it with an embossing pad.
Yes.
So that you can just get a little bit of grungy embossing powder on it.
Absolutely.
Looks nice, that one, like chainmail.
Wrap it round. There's so many different ways of using this. You can keep alternating, and you can make them different every single time. So it's entirely up to you. So there's different ways. I think my preference is I can't decide between having the pattern on it or having it as the white. I think maybe the white one is a little bit cleaner and simpler. And to glue this down, there's a few different options for you, but to glue it down, I would say just glue the centres of the circles. Don't worry about doing all the edges. So do the centres of every alternate line, little dots. Make sure you're using a glue that you're confident using. A CraftStash have got loads of different glues, haven't they? In fact, we've got some products in a minute, Lou, that we need to look at, don't we?
Yeah, I can't wait for this.
You were getting excited about those.
Well, we've got a lovely comment from Wendy Craig, and said that she's a first-time customer, so she got 20%.
Hey, yes.
So,
and if you're on Craftworld, if you found us over on craftworld.com, and you're a premium member over there, you'll know what being a premium member means. You'll get an additional 10% off of everything anyway.
Wow! So you get 10% off everything in the range, but it's great because that makes it a bit easier for you to get the whole range then, doesn't it? I really like the idea.
Everything's going to work together really well. So this I was planning on tucking underneath the patterned paper there rather than around the back of the card, but just so you can see how that's finished off, just like so. Maybe I'd add a few sparkles as well. So there's that card. So, Lou, we've got something exciting to do.
Yeah, we have.
We've got to go head to head.
Absolutely. I'm just looking at all these people as they're saying it's so good, it's the highlight of the week for them.
Oh, that's lovely.
So,
I love that. Thank you so much. We're here every Friday, of course, at 12:30, 1 o'clock. We've been playing around with the time. We want to capture as many of you as possible. We want to get you if you're on your lunch hours and things like that, and not leave anyone out. So make sure you keep up with the Facebook page for what times we're going to be on every week. So Lou, have we got a decision on what products we're going to be using?
Right, lots of people saying texture paste, textures through stencils, bits of die cutting. We've got a couple of you said distressed all in industrial feels. We've got anything that's textural is the main element.
Okay, brilliant. Yeah, we can do that.
And they're just loving the demos, but they just said, is it black and white and that Lou used? distressing over. Yeah, it's the paper pads that you're using. It's
Yes.
your paper pad in the pack, Pippa.
Absolutely.
The pack itself is beautiful. It's grey tones and black and white.
Can't find them.
So
here
you've
they
got-
are. Oh no, they're not. That's the grey
You've
board.
got more over there, have you?
Okay.
But they're at, oh yeah, there they are, right in front of me, as usual. But you've got the grey tones, which create a neutral colour with any colour.
Yeah.
So it's really clever the way it's been made. And then you've got the black and white, so you can put any colour perfect to it. But I just like the fact that the images on them are so cool. I love
Just
them.
show you these close up so you can see these papers just here. So what we've got first of all is, I can't see if we can see that. I think we're getting close there. We have to make sure it's nice and focused for you. So we've got the papers there. Now we've incorporated some other images into these. So we've got a beautiful butterfly, and if you want to layer over the wording and the sentiment, we've got those. But these are the textures. So you've got like that watercolour texture. Like I say, when you add your colour over, that can be watercolour in absolutely any colour that you have the inks and mists and sprays for. We have the script. If you feel that, Lou, you felt it.
Oh,
It's raised up. It's
that's
actually
brilliant, that,
yeah,
isn't
it's actually textured that, so you've got like, it's as if it's been heat embossed on there already for you, so that's going to resist for you. This is the one, it looks quite dark, but you can still add in your colours over the top. We've got the heart there. It says, trust that your heart just knows the way and follow it. That's the bubbles that I've just used on the pink and purple. I love this. I think this is very you as well.
Oh yeah.
Look at that. All the writing
I like the
tools
fact
and
that
things.
this just enhances with colour.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
you know, nothing's overpowering. It's brilliant.
No, this is probably my favourite, the wood grain, because when you add the ink to the wood
There's
grain.
that card there that blew my mind away before, and it was there, that one.
That one.
I just thought that was so classy.
Yeah, so that's exactly using that. Just adding on the distressing over the top. That was Tattered Rose, Victorian Velvet, is it called, I think? And then
Victorian
Dusty
Velvet.
Concord, those three colours, I believe, over the top. Quite pale, not too heavy, but you can see the wood grain through them there. And then we've got the owl there, about being unique and beautiful. Some more distressing texture. I think
You see, when you start saying distress, it gets frightening, but these
no,
aren't.
not at all. This is the idea. I wanted to make mixed media achievable and not scary for everyone. So whatever level you're at with your crafting, even if you're a complete beginner, but you're starting to, you know, it's like you go on your inspiration galleries, don't you?
Yeah.
You start seeing images and they say they're mixed media or altered art or whatever, junk journals, art journals, and think, I love that look. I love all the layers, but I wouldn't know where to start. And this is the idea. This is where you can start with it. So what should we pick? 3 products.
Yeah, I'm happy. I tell you what, you pick 3 for me to use.
Okay, so I pick 2 and you pick 2?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
I don't know, we've never done this, so it's quite fun. I'm ready
It's got
to
to be the
use.
panel, hasn't it?
Yeah, so we've got plenty of panels, we can use them. What about a bit of MDF?
Yes. So let's see. These are not part of the collection. These are just things from home.
You'd have
Shall
in
we
your
do-
own stash, wouldn't you?
Should we put them there and we'll just say we can
All right,
choose
yeah,
one of those?
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Just grab what we can. We've got paper cuts and stuff in the middle. That'd be so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. So we've got bits everywhere. So I've got to pick another one. People said about stencils, didn't
Yeah,
they?
they like the stencils.
Where are the words? I'll use my used ones. The
They said the stencils and the coffee stains as well. See, but I just couldn't choose. I just love them all. I'd just use it all, me.
So there's a stencil. So we've got texture.
Definitely got to use the owl. Definitely.
And we use the owl.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Because even if you're using it as a die cut, you can use it in lots of different ways, as you've shown.
So we've got a few things there.
Yeah.
Are we happy with that?
I'm happy with that.
Okay,
Are you happy with that?
Yes. What we're going to do is we're going to keep a distance as much as possible. And Lou's going to welcome Lou in.
I'm
Do you
here.
want to put those things aside so you've got some space?
I don't want to move them because they're beautiful.
And I'll do the
I'm
same
going to
thing.
put them all in my handbag. No, I'm not. But they are beautiful. I think Louise has done an amazing job.
I love how she calls me Louise.
I know, it's that. Do you know what that is? That's my mum. Sunday name, because I was never allowed to shorten my name, so the first thing I did when I got older was shorten my name.
Of course you did, absolutely.
So do you get called Louise or Lou?
I'm Louise at home.
Yeah.
My parents, it's Louise.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, they're not here around now, but I always get official. When I was naughty, I had my full name. All of it. Middle name and everything.
What's your middle name?
Marie.
Oh, I'm Emma.
Emma.
It would be funny if we had the same middle name as well. So we're just getting everything together.
Yep.
We are going to go head to head, and then at the end of that, we are going to be able to announce
The winners.
What we're going to do for, oh, you've got all the bits there. Cardstock. Now, there's some cardstock here. We haven't talked about these items, but you love these.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, these are really important because these are artist quality that I've seen.
Do you want to go through them? You
Oh
know
yeah,
more about
please
those
do.
than
Yeah,
I
please
do.
do. These are
Go for
artist
it.
quality. Pastel paper's really difficult to find good quality, and you need to be able to use it, and you need the right paper, you need the right surface. Now these, look at these colours. These colours are amazing because you get this. It's going to highlight all the pastels and everything properly, and you've got the smooth back here, and this allows the pastel to not travel. So it's so strong that, because what you don't want is it to be flimsy, because if it's flimsy it'll flick the chalk off. So these are grey. The grey scale, like your papers, enhances all colour.
Lovely. So they're from pastel. I've not seen these
No, these
before.
are beautiful. I've not seen these before. So we've got a white one, we've got a grey. Now it's not black, it's anthracite, which is a beautiful grey.
And then there's that one which is larger, and that I believe is 4 different colours in there.
Yeah, now these colours, these are what when you're learning about arts and stuff, these would be what we call Leonardo colours, because he drew in these colours,
Right.
in these, and these are the colours what he based on. So it'd be on these pastel papers and that. So you can tell the quality because they thought about the colours. So I love these, beautiful. And then we've got some other bits and bobs, and I was just like, oh, look at
I love some of that. Yeah, I love that. So these are creative books. There's lots of different projects and templates and things in them. So these are all new to CraftStash, and I just brought them over to show Lou. She said, oh, I like that. Yeah, I love that.
Oh,
And,
look,
you know,
you've
what
got
it's
some
like.
decoupage in papers,
Yeah.
but we've got some strong, and then we've got real, oh, look at the mandalas, look, yeah, and all
Colouring
these.
those.
These are beautiful, absolutely beautiful, and I think, and these are so creative that you can add your own bits to them, and there's a couple more in the range as well. We've got a Feel Good, which is in the teals.
Oh, so we've got the wildflowers.
Wildflowers, that's the one. Ethnic.
Yeah.
Lettering and Cocooning, which is a lovely name. And we have to get this one in because we know what Lou's like with her lettering.
Like lettering.
And it's beautiful, but look, these are stunning. So that one's quite clever because you can draw it yourself without realising that you've got an underlayer on it.
Gorgeous.
Beautiful.
So they're all on CraftStash
Yeah.
now. I've got them to the side. We might want to use some of that paper in it.
Absolutely stunning.
Cardstock. So we're going to work with MDF. Now I'm hoping that with us keeping our distance you can still see what we're doing. We're going to be sharing the craft map, but we're going to be both crafting at the same time. We've got inks, we've got pastes, we've actually got, Lou, am I right in thinking it's 10% off of
Everything.
gesso, paste and paint?
Yeah, we've got, like, the deal of the day we'll show you in a minute, but we've got the gesso, patina and paint. You buy 3 and you buy save 10%. So you pick your 3 and then you've got 10% off at the end, which is brilliant. So yeah, I mean, anything you choose. So whatever we use, you get the 3 together. Makes sense?
Okay. Right, shall we go for it? We're doing MDF, the panel die, the alphabet and letter stencil, and the owl die. So we
Absolutely.
can choose from these.
Right, and we're just going to go for it, shall we?
We're just going to do something. I don't know what we're going to do.
Right, I'm going to get a piece of board.
Yeah, I'm going to do a tag.
I'm just going to put that there.
I think. Do you know what? We'll make it fair. I'll do the same as you.
Oh, well, I'll pick a tag if you want to do a tag.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Right,
We'll do
so we'll need to, I'm going to crackle paste and stuff which we've got over there.
that. So we've got cardstock down here. So we've got all different cardstocks. We've got my papers as well, of course. So we'll just take it in turns and say what we're going to do then.
Okay, well, you know, I've got a little bit of this. I'm not going to waste it because you've got that there as well. We've got this here and lettering and stuff. So what I'm going to do is, the first thing I like the idea of is actually having, I'll just move that out of the way for a minute, having this but using it as a stencil.
Gorgeous.
With some paste.
Yes.
But then use the paste on the stencil to make it 3-dimensional.
Okay.
So if I can have
do that.
heavy body paste, I'll have this crackle if that's okay.
Stamperia.
Right, Stamperia. Now I've not used this one before, so I'm absolutely excited because I always love new products. Oh, palette knife.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So you know what I'm like about when applying this to any surface is don't go too mad buttering it, because if you start doing that you push it underneath the stencil and it is actually paper. So it's just once and then a bit down here and then pull straight off.
Gorgeous.
Then what I'm going to do just quickly is just press that back down and I'll get a bit of texture in the background. I don't want to make it really too much texture. I just want to sort of, so it's not a bare and a bare. Oh,
don't worry, we've got wipes under here, we've got towels, kitchen towel, everything.
So I've got that and I'm going to leave that to dry, and I'll tell you why, because that'll add more texture with it as well. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave that. I've got different layers, so it's up to you what you're going to do.
I'm going to use the alphabet stencil, as you've used that as a stencil. I'm going to use this one now, and I'm just going to cover my background. Just thinking about inks, and oh, there's all sorts, isn't there? We've got so much.
You could even do paints, couldn't you? That Cosmic Shimmer one was nice, isn't it? I've not seen that used.
This one's like a gilding paste.
Is
that
it?
one,
I've not
yeah.
used that.
We've got all sorts. Do you know what? I'm gonna go in with distressing.
I think so, because if not, there's too much to choose from.
There is too much to choose from. Let's just take. Do you know what? I'm gonna go quite pinky and girly and just see if I can keep it girly.
I'm just going to use even finger tones, so they're not going to be heavy. Oh, thank you. That's even better for me. So, yeah. Are you going to use it with a brush or with your...
I'm going to use...
I love the different sizes because it's great for that lettering.
Yeah, it's perfect. So you've got the big end on this and then you've got the pointed end as well, so you can get right in there. Now with the stencil, this one's a nice clean alphabet, so it goes from A to Z right across nice and neatly, and it's not a broken alphabet. But I'm going to pop it... yeah, I'm probably going to stagger it, to be fair. And just go through onto the craft. Because I'm going onto this MDF though, it's going to be dull down the colour ever so slightly. But
it's quite nice that sometimes though, isn't it?
Oh, definitely.
You know, you can just scrape a little thin bit of gesso on that and then over just where the letters are, and it just makes them pop.
Absolutely.
But I love that.
So if this isn't bright enough, I'll do it with texture paste and colour it. Yeah, see that's really subtle there. So I think I'll do texture paste and then add the colour in afterwards.
Yeah, or mix texture paste in with it.
Let's do it this way.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can mix it.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got the cracker one. This one actually dries quite quickly.
Oh, good stuff. Yeah. Can you heat set this?
Sorry?
Can you heat set it? Oh, right, cool.
Absolutely. I've got heat gun there if you want to heat yours. I don't know if you want to, but it's,
there is.
It's hiding under
Yeah,
there.
right.
I'm going to mix a little bit of the texture paste, as you said,
Well, watch
with
what you do
some
first.
ink.
It's a really nice way of creating your own texture paste, isn't it?
Yeah, lots of adding colours. We've also got things like the Dilutions paint. Of course, you could add that in, but let's just scrape some of this in, add some colour. Oh, nice pastel pink there. Look.
I think you get a really nice ombre doing this. It's like you've created your own then, haven't you?
Absolutely, definitely. I love doing this. I love playing. I'm hoping everyone can see this okay, because we're working, two of us on a large. We've got a really large mat. I'm going to take a bit and make this bit a bit darker. There we go. We've got the pink shades to it. I'll pop the lid on that. Make sure you do replace the lid though, because they do dry out otherwise.
Yeah, we've got a lot of people saying, oh, it's great because they can get out their mats and stuff.
Yes.
Sorry, the what you call it, a couple of people have said that it's made them think about getting the pastes out. That's good, but sometimes, you know, make sure that it's on the right substrate as well, because sometimes if you put it on the wrong and you think you've gone wrong, it isn't. It needs to be on proper substrates. But yeah, get your ideas from this. And I must admit though, I think I'd have to have collection. Look at that, it's gorgeous.
With a stencil, I always make sure I check the reverse before I pop it down again a second time, because if any's bled through and you press it down, you're going to get that where that mark. So just having the pink rather than the white.
So that does dry quite fast.
It does, it's lovely.
But I'll wait till you've done that and then I'll dry mine, because I don't want to, in case you talk, you can't hear it.
We're actually doing something quite similar, whereas we're supposed to be different. There you go, that's all I'm just going to spread that around like that, leave that as a background before I do any more. So I'll clean this up if you want to do.
Yeah, I'm just going to quickly see what happens with this. Have we got any embossing powder?
Yes, we've got a lot. What would you like?
You pick. Don't matter to me.
Do you want a metallic?
I'll just have a brownie one if you've got one.
A brownie one. I've got them here, so here they are. There we go. So I've got a silver, a clear, a white, a gold, a black, and a, could be like a patina in there. Oh, do you want,
Oh yeah, I'll have a bit of that.
Yeah,
A bit of the Sizzix one. I'm not going to use it all over. I'm just going to put in areas. So all I'm going to do is just introduce it to little areas. I don't want it to be the overall patterning. Sort of all over it, because if I do that then it's taking too much away from like layers and textures. I want to create different layers and textures, so just take your time with this when you're doing it. Make sure that you sort of get the bits that you want instead of trying to just put it over everything. And normally when I'm doing this, normally I leave the top off and then it goes all crazy, and so always put your lid back on.
Yeah, I spill it every time.
Everywhere.
It's somewhere.
So I'm going to use this WOW one. This is a good gun, this. Oh, Sizzix one, sorry. The Sizzix one, I've used quite a few now, but I like this one and the WOW one. They're very good. They're good quality.
They're very similar, aren't they?
Yeah. I've used the quieter ones, which are great, but for more power, I prefer these.
Definitely.
So I'm eating up the different heights now. There's a lot of texture paste there. So it will take time, but the great thing is using the embossing powder gives me a good inclination of when it's dry. So I'm just heat embossing all around this here now, drying the rest. Oh, it won't take me a minute now. I love
gorgeous colour, isn't it?
I do really love that colour because it's not too bright and blingy. It's like
champagne or not platinum.
It is, yeah, yeah. It's almost that mix between the two. It's got a bit of bling, but it's not over the top. So I'm just going to quickly dry these. I can see the crackle starting now. But when you're using a product like this, always refer to instructions, and then you know you're going to get it right. The amount of times I've tried it, it's great if you don't mind trying it, but you know, if you just sort of throw it on and it's not right, don't blame yourself. It's just because you've not read the instructions. Oh, I love the pattern I've got in this.
That's gorgeous, isn't it? I really like that. So I'm just going to fill in some of these areas where I haven't got the stenciling. Stenciling's not dry. I probably don't need to dry that off. To be honest, I'm probably okay with leaving it to dry itself, but I just want to add in a little bit of texture with this grid here. This is the one that I cut a little while ago, I think. I think this is the one.
Do you know you can cut these? I love the shapes. You can have the circles or the diamonds showing. So
yes.
It all depends on what you want to show.
Yeah, I made sure the shape that I chose for this background, A, it was symmetrical, it could be repeated, and also that B, it can be used in different ways and use different parts of it. So the waist is equally as pretty as the bit that's not the waist.
Yeah, I know exactly. Yeah, and what I've done is the thing is when the die cuts are damp, it's great to manipulate them. You can do this when it's wet, or spray it a little bit. But what you can do is, rather than keeping it to the same shape, which is this beautiful circle, I've stretched it, and now I've got a different shape.
Oh, look at that!
So all I'm going to do then is, invite that there. But you can, don't forget the little bits. Sometimes that's all you need. So I've got another area here which is still brown.
We're doing very similar.
Well, that's, I mean, sometimes, well, it's nice, I quite like that. Yeah. Even if, it still is messy around me, it's not near you.
Sorry?
You're clean there, I'm not.
Well, I probably won't stay clean. Actually, I think what I'm going to do, talking about putting bits back in this die, I'll do the owl in a moment, but I'm going to see if, amongst my bag of goodies, I've got lots of papers and cards here. See whether I've got a nice bright pink, a really bright pink.
Oh, that'd be good.
Digging in. Find what colours I've got.
If you want to achieve this sort of stretched look, the easiest way of doing it is to dampen where your die cuts are and just let it, and I mean dampen by spraying, not by adding water, because you add too much water and it'll just be really soft.
Yeah.
But just dampen them, and then while it's damp, let it soak in for a minute and then manipulate it, and all you need to do is just stretch it a little bit. And it won't be different. It'll just be different than the die cut. It'll be the same shape, but slightly. I don't know if I'm getting that right. It's the same, but different.
Right.
No, that don't make sense. Well, you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
And those people who know me out there, you'll know what I mean. It's just the new people might think, what does that mean? But basically, it's the same shape. You're just using it in a different way. So I've just covered it like that. And mine is, right, what you would normally do at home is, well, if I was at home, is if I've got something like this, to make sure that it's going to stick, I'd use a plastic. And these blending mats are great because I like them that they're clear. That I can see colours better then. Leave that, don't cut it yet, because what you can do is cut it later, or what I would probably do is...
just trim the edge, would you?
Yeah, I'd get an emery board on it.
Ah, okay,
and just
sand it.
Sand it down, yeah. You can see, look at the state of my bit here, look. And look at your bit,
We'll
it's dead
clean it later.
Oh, I'll clean it, it's a mess though, look at it.
It's fine. What we got you here for, Lou, we want you to make a mess.
It's state of my hands. Let's see your hands. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, but you know, it's very different. We've actually got 3 winners to announce very soon. I don't know if we got the winners yet, because they can't be far off.
No.
Yeah, Maria's nodding. Yeah, winners have been chosen. Shall we announce one now, one in a minute?
Whatever
minute.
you would prefer, my love. I'm new to this, I don't know what I'm doing.
Would you like me to find them? Can you see the names? She's on my phone, so.
This is a posh phone for me. Mine's a brick.
If you tap that top bit, that top bar. Oh, I don't know if that's actually.
Oh,
have a look.
Oh, I might have got a wrong message there.
No, we've got it. There we go. Do you want to announce the first one?
We've got this is for let me just start again. Right. Winner number 1, are you ready? Is Somerset Steph from CW.
That's Craft World.
Right, there you go.
World. Well done, Steph.
I've got your YouTube, Facebook, I'm like that, thinking that's an area. What a dimwit I am. Yeah, Somerset Steph from Craft World.
That was her county or something.
Yeah, I was thinking, where's that? That's new to me. Yeah, Somerset Steph, you've won first one.
Well done.
Get in.
I'm presuming she's from Somerset.
Well, I would have thought, unless she's got, maybe they might be. Don't know.
So, Steph, you've won a selection of my new range, and then in a couple of minutes we'll announce someone else, shall we? Just keep you hanging on. So that's simply by commenting every Friday. Just comment and you can be in with a chance of winning. So I've die cut the panel from a pinky reddy colour, and I'm just popping the diamonds back in, so I'm using the waste.
Well, I'm going to be really cheeky here, and this was the one that you showed before, but I'm loving the fact that you can manipulate this. So again, what I would do is just to do, I brought my own, a lot of the stuff we've had to bring ourselves, obviously, because we can't, there's some things we can cross-contaminate, and some things we can't. So, like water sprays and stuff, if you've got one of them, just spray the back of this really gently. You don't really need one, but it helps. And then you can just gently manipulate the card. If you use very thick card, then trying to do this dry, what it'll do is it'll just rip. So just, manipulate it, get it on your embossing mat with your embossing tools, and just really use these wonderful die cut elements for what they are. They're just really clever. And I really like this, the fact that you can pull it and rip it. I'm not ripping them, I'm just manipulating it, because I just think that
makes them stand out.
Yeah, and I'm going to get this embossing. Oh, that's embossing ink.
Yeah.
I've not got that one. That's one I haven't got. I'm going to use. Oh, this is a new one I haven't got. Why have you got that stuff on it?
What? Oh, I used to hang them up underneath a shelf. They used to be hanging. But I've got too many for the space.
I've never heard of a hanging shelf like that. That's clever.
I used to put Velcro underneath, a hook and loop, sticky hook and loop.
Use a little bit of this. I'm going to use one of these sponges, but I'm going to use the other end. And I'm just going to sort of bring in, now it's not the right colour for this. It is the right colour, it's not the same colour I should say. But I've just gone for a little bit of green. Speckled egg. And I'm just going to darken areas, not a lot. I don't want a lot I'm just going to give a little bit of colour. Now, it's hard to pick up this. So,
one's that? I've actually got speckled, I don't know if it's there in the knock side. I don't
oh
know
right, I like this one, evergreen brown. I might use this. I'm going to use this, it's a little bit darker. I can see it, but you can't. So, oh yes, right.
That's darker.
So I'm just going to pull in a little bit in areas. So I've got a little bit here. Some of these areas are going to be covered up, a little bit there, and then I would maybe just this element here. I don't want a lot. And then I love the oxides. They're a smashing investment. I've got a little bit of this. I'm going to add a little bit of this to just give it a bit of warmth to it. Add in layers.
I'm going to lean over you and grab the black.
Yeah. We've got like all sorts of things running through my mind when I'm doing this about what else I could do, and it's just once you get the collection home and you do this, that's when it really starts getting wonderful, because you get all these wonderful ideas, and then one idea leads to another. And just when you were showing me this on the meeting yesterday, I was like, you could do that, you could do that, you could do that. Yeah. And off I went, and I wanted to do that.
It's Lou's fault that I was up until all hours last night.
Sorry.
It's all your fault.
And what I'm going to do is just round the edge. I'm just going to put the orange around the edge. And the reason, it's not orange, what's it called? Crackle. I haven't got this one either. Crackling Bonfire.
Quite a recent one, that one.
I'm going to have to get these. I'm just doing the edge only because you need to incorporate the colour from the background to the colour in your work, so that the two marry. Although you don't need tons of it, you do need to bring it in a tiny bit. I'm happy with that. What are you doing with yours now?
So I've just done I put the diamonds into the lattice. So I've got two-tone lattice. I don't know, let me just bring that up a bit so you can see what I've been doing there. So I've got very much red colours and you're going for your blues and things. So I'm doing a little bit girly. I've die cut my owl. I've just stenciled through the body there, and I'm going to make the face and the wings a different colour, but I'm just deciding what colour to make them. Because it's going to be quite a girly one, this one. I thought, well, if you're doing...
I think that's gorgeous. I like the way you've picked up the colours and they're picked up the colours in the background and bringing it forward. I think that's a really cool thing to do. Yeah, I'm really liking... I'm just picking out like little elements, like not his cheeks. They don't have cheeks, do they? But you know.
I suppose they do, don't they?
Well, them things on the red. That's not very nice. Yeah. Those things he's got on his head. I do like these oxides because they give you a bit more depth, don't they? When you've got a stronger colour like this, you've got they're more opaque. And just add in a little bit. Now I'm not being neat with these. You know, I'm not neat when I would be colouring. There is a time and a place to be neat with colouring, certainly not me anyway. And I just add in this little bit here. So yeah, I like that. And I'm going to add the same colour to the background. What are you doing?
So I'm adding embossing ink through my my dye, my owl dye. I've cut it out. My embossing ink pad is quite dirty. It always has been, but that's actually a good thing because I can see where I'm adding the ink now. So it's just going through. So I'm sort of stenciling it all through, and then I'm going to add probably, so I can bring all of our embossing powders today, so you just see you've got elements there. Probably going to add,
beautiful.
Oh, what should I do?
Does that,
oh yeah, should I take that one?
Scissors.
I'll take the same one and use this gorgeous embossing powder to pick out the detail in the owl.
I'm just building up texture in the background, like just as, I think we're both doing similar things but on different areas now, so that's cool. But I love the idea of the detail on this is just so beautiful that you don't really need to do much. You really don't. It's sort of done for you.
Have we still got any people? Has my phone gone? Do you want me to? I'm going to have to open it, aren't I?
I can't do that.
I'll have a look and see.
I can't do that.
Still got. Is anyone still with us?
I can do other bit, scroll. I can do that, I'm alright at that. I can do a bit of scrolling, but I can't do what else.
We've still got, so Simone said this isn't a style that she's tried before, but she's loved watching how it's done. Michaela said it's beautiful.
Oh, cool. That's barbed wire, that.
Well, oh yes it is.
That's barbed wire.
Barbed wire.
How clever is that? And you could even chop that off. That bit's barbed wire, but you could have him sat on it.
If you did that in silver or black.
Yeah, exactly. You could have him. Oh yeah, that's is going to be.
You're going to sat on some barbed wire.
Well, I'm gonna.
Well, birds land on it. They're okay, aren't
Yeah. I'm gonna. You could chop the ends off with your fussy cutting scissors, or whatever it is, and just be careful how I say that. Just gonna blob a bit of glue on that because I'm not worried whether the glue. It is dry as clay, but I'm not worried whether the glue shows the stuff because it'll give me even more texture. But don't be worried with this because you can neaten all the edges up later.
Oh yeah.
I'll just bring him down a little bit more. I'm not putting him straight because I want him at a jaunty angle. There we go, that's better. And I like the fact that we can see underneath him because if we don't, you can see all the texture and you know. And I love this bendy bit with him. You can bend it and get his. You can push that back and have this forward. It's a clever design, this.
Yeah, really had fun bringing him to life as such.
I bet you did.
I've just heat embossed that, the detail in that, so you can really see that detail picked out in that silver. I'm just looking for the scissors. There they are, hiding. We've got so much mess to clean up afterwards. She's cleaning away, she doesn't know.
What I've got here is it's got to be done.
Absolutely. So I'm going to go around these wings up to the top and just snipping. I'm going to paper piece my owl a little bit. But I'm going to do half of it. I'm going to do half rather than all of it. So.
Well, I won't have time to do all this, but this is where you can choose to do, you know, stenciling or your white and black pens, your colour pens, all these pens that we've got tons of. You can use them, but I would suggest one of the things I do is I use it when it's still wet. That's not a good idea. Let it dry before you use your pens because I end up killing half my pens. So there is a little trick I've got to bringing them back to life.
Is there?
Yeah, nail file.
A nail file for bringing your pens back to life?
Yeah, believe it or not.
I've never heard that before.
I did it yesterday in one of my lives, and it was really dried and dead, my pen, because I'd used it on wet paint.
Yeah.
And I got my nail file on it and my emery board, and I cleaned it, and it was great. And you have to keep going, and then you sort of sharpen the edge, and it does work. It all depends on pen though, but yeah. You see what I mean? This is not working now, and it's nothing to do with the pen. It's because even though it's ink, there's a slick surface. And two slick surfaces together, it's like walking on ice in stilettos.
Yeah. Ever done that?
Yeah, many years ago. Yes, and it was in the days when when you went out, you sort of went out in a little top and it was -90.
Oh.
Oh yeah. Them were the days. No, but
speaking of which, I usually mention the weather when I do the Craft World Live on Friday. Haven't mentioned it today, but apparently it's snowing in parts of the country today. Sorry?
It has just snow here.
really?
Have we? There's snow here. Do you know what? We've been that wrapped up in playing with this, we haven't even realised. I left home very early this morning and got a message from my husband, a video message to say, look at the snow. He knows I love snow, and it always snows at home when I go away.
Do you know what? It's so strange because I got Tamara. One of in my group admin, she's a really good friend of mine. She's showed me a picture outside her window, all snow everywhere, and I'm like, what? Wow.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if I put that there.
She's thinking now.
Right, you've got a little section there. Oh, you could even have him sat there.
Oh yeah, you can put it in between. Yep, that's the idea with the wings being able to lift those up.
Maybe not with a bit of barbed wire, but you could put a twig there, or even sat on it. Oh, look, sat on it. Oh, I'm having that. But you've got ribbon, you could put ribbon around it.
Yeah, definitely.
I've only put a little bit of white pen on, but just to show you that, if those colours that we're using, they don't have to be dark or stay dark. You can use pens on them and bring them all alive. And
that's really worked well with that owl, hasn't it?
It does.
Lifting out all the elements.
And one of my big things that I do is my mindful moodling, and moodling just means idleness. Idle nothing. So if you make it mindful, it means the opposite. So I like to sit and doodle, and this is one of the things that I do, and it's picking out these little elements and just thinking, wow. They're already beautiful, but
I'm going to pop that. I've just done the half owl. because I can. We're just peeking between there. I've got the different colour pinks and things. Obviously, we're just working with, well, we haven't planned, obviously we haven't planned these at all. It's probably quite clear we've not planned this to be
I think that's a really good thing, because if you're sat at home sometimes and you're saying, right, what do we do? And you've got a plan in mind, that's fine, but if you've not, what do? Well, you do this, you get your stuff out, pile it up, and then think, right, I'm just going to use that. That's what I have to do, otherwise I'll just sit there for 3 hours looking, what do we do now? And
yeah, absolutely.
procrastinate. And what I would do with this now is I would get my black pen and some words here.
Ah, so we've got alphabet stamps, we've got the word dies as well, so you can incorporate.
I think I do it all of them.
Yeah, and have some fun. Oh, are we done?
Oh well, I think because I can't. We've got I could go on forever and I can't, and you can't. So, and you can with this collection because it's so cool. But we've given people the idea of like how we can work with it.
We've definitely got two very different.
I've really loved that, the idea of it just going with what we've got.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely need to enhance the eye around the face like you have with the pen there. I need to go in and do that. So I've got Pale and Pretty, you've got Dark more for a boy or a masculine feel there, which is really lovely. That's just having a play. We have still got a couple more winners.
Yeah.
So we've announced one. Shall I do one and you do one?
Yeah.
Okay, so from YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube, this may be yourself. Come in a little bit. Come in,
we could just sort of get there.
Yeah, that's about as close as we can get, so we'll just keep our faces in. So from YouTube, congratulations to Paint and Glitter. If that's you on YouTube, that's a great name, isn't it? I need to see that. Paint and Glitter, you are one of our winners. You're going to win a selection of the new products that I would show you, but they're spread around. I think there's been an explosion in here.
I think the bomb's hit it.
Yeah. If I pass this to you, we did sanitise our hands and everything before we came in, but the bottom one, would you like to read that?
Christine Gemmo from Facebook.
Well done, Christine, as well. You are our third winner. Now, a couple more things that we need to mention. You and I both love a lovely lady called Lindsay.
Yeah, the Frugal Crafter.
Lindsay Weir is the Frugal Crafter. If you've never heard of her, she's got like 50-something thousand.
I've followed her for years now because she gives you straight up answers and gives you alternatives and she lets you go through products. So
absolutely. So
well good.
When I told Lou that we had Lindsay, the Frugal Crafter, joining us on Craft World for an exclusive craft along, she got really excited. So you can join that as well. That is next Wednesday. It's going to be at, I think it's 7 p.m. Am I right, Maria? I think it's 7 p.m. She's doing different numbers at me. That's 9 p.m. So, even better, 9 p.m. Put the kids to bed.
7.
No, it's 7.
It's on the 9th.
It's on the 9th at 7 p.m. Let's get this right.
It's on the 9th at 7.
It's on the 9th, Wednesday the 9th at 7 p.m. And so we've got the Frugal Crafter joining us. She's now doing this. We've got Frugal Crafter joining us. If you want to join in and craft along with her live, I say this is exclusive to Craft World, so you'll be able to chat with her. She can answer your questions. There is a bundle, a kit that you can purchase that will give you access to the craft along as well.
Wow.
That's all on craftstash.co.uk. You can find the details both on the CraftStash Facebook page. Frugal Crafter Lindsay has posted it on her social, but also on Craft World as well. You can find out all the details. Purchase that kit in time to craft along with the same products that Lindsay is using. We've actually got a beautiful image to show you. This is what Lindsay has sent us of some of the projects that she's going to be taking you through. So look at that, we've got a beautiful MDF wreath, we've got gift bags, we've got cards in there as well, we've got beautiful florals, all of those she's going to be taking you through how to put together different tips and techniques, so you're going to absolutely love that. So that is Wednesday the 9th at 7 p.m. That's obviously GMT, so please make sure you have a look at that. And one more thing to do. We have to send out everyone over to Craft World, because if you want to win the entire collection,
really, I'm going.
The entire collection.
I'm going over there.
Wow. So over on Craft World, you're going over. We're both going over.
Yeah.
Lou is actually now. We're just setting her up as an expert on Craft World, which I'm really excited about. But you can win the entire collection of my new textures range over there. You simply go onto the home page, there's a banner on there, click on the banner, it'll take you to the post, do what it says in the post, usually it's just comment, something really simple like that, and then you're in the chance of winning, and that will get announced on our social very, very soon as well. I think we're done.
I've thoroughly enjoyed that. Now, it's the first time I've done it, so if poor Louise, she's put up with me, but I thoroughly enjoyed that. Thank you so much for having me.
It's been brilliant fun. Thank you so much for supporting me. I cannot present and demonstrate at the same time, so hopefully with future launches, because we do have lots of different collections for the textures range coming up soon, they will all work together as well. Hopefully we can drag Lou back in.
Oh, you won't have to. We won't have hard. It won't be hard. It won't be hard dragging me in.
It's been great fun. But yeah, keep an eye out for Lou on Craft World as well. She'll be over there. Yeah. We're going to try and get her to do her own lives as well. I haven't told her about that bit yet. We'll do that in a minute. I'll get her a cup of tea.
It's first I've heard.
Yeah, well, that's for the later meeting. We'll sort that out. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. We know we overran today, but I'm really excited. Lou was really excited. We wanted to get messy and show you everything you can do with the new Textures Reflections range. You can buy it at CraftStash now. I've taken over your bit. This should be yours.
No. Yeah, I'm being shown back best. I can do it again then later.
But there's a bundle over there that you can get 10% off. Individual items you can get 10% off, and then you've also got the bundle where you're making a huge saving. Yeah. As well. Please share your inspiration on Craft World and on social, tag us, use the hashtags, use the @signs and all of that. And I will be back next week with another live, something exciting. We have What's Hot on a Tuesday. We have all sorts going on Craft World throughout the week, so please join us for that. And have a fantastic weekend, whether it's snow or not, everybody. And we, from Lou, we will see you again very soon.
From him, from her, whatever.